Hi, I'm Johnny Marques, and welcome to the All Knowing Podcast. We all have people we admire, heroes, people we look up to, people we try to emulate. At the All Knowing, we look into people's personalities by using different systems such as numerology, astrology, and life charts. A deep dive in a persona, if you will. It is our hope that we can help break down what makes a person, who they are, their traits, their actions, and their possible beliefs. And in doing so, help you understand if you have similar virtues. If you like the show, don't forget to push like. Or if you have someone that you want us to do a life chart on, please leave it in the comments. Thank you for watching and enjoy the show. Hey there, welcome to another episode of the All Knowing Experience. Today we are going to do quite the controversial figure to some. So hold on to your hats. Today we are going to be doing a influencer that has a massive following and is quite controversial. We are talking about Andrew Tate. Born December 1, 1986, Emery Andrew Tate III. He is an American-British social media personality. He's a former professional kickboxer, won many titles. And again, as I said, now is a social media influencer with a huge following. He's often controversial, and he was recently arrested by some say on trumped-up charges, but that is yet to be seen. I guess hopefully we still live in innocent until proven guilty. Let's see. He was born from a mixed marriage. His dad was a grandmaster chess champion, and he planned on following his dad. And then in 2009, he gained his first kickboxing championship from doing kickboxing. So I guess that the following of the dad didn't work out. So he continued in kickboxing, and he gained his wealth, a little controversial back in the day, when they had web models where you paid to speak to pretty women. He did quite well. So he also offers courses to men who want to gain financial independence and what he calls becoming a top G, which is his nickname. He now lives in Romania, where he's being detained, and there's so many wild stories about him. It's really fascinating to get down to the raw nitty-gritty of who is this person, and like him or not, we delved into finding out who Andrew Tate is and what makes him a top G.
From a numerological standpoint.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, Sally. Hi.
Hi.
Sally, wait in there. What do you got for us?
Well, I'm going to tell you, he's a Billy the Kid kind of guy. You know, I mean, that's really what he is. I mean, he is an extraordinarily intelligent man. He's also someone who will not even get in the game unless he thinks he can win, and he would never think he couldn't win at anything that he was thinking about getting into, because he'd already have it down, is what I know of this person. I mean, so many of the great athletes have his numbers, but not all three of them like he has. He has the 7, wow, the 1, and the 1. And so the thing is, he's not a person who would be easy for any woman to be married to at all.
Wow.
Because he wants what he wants. He's the bottom line. The buck stops with him, and he would never falter from that, because also he's not going to be saying anything to anybody. These are people who keep everything to themselves, so that they're always a big question mark to other people, because they don't expose how they feel. One of the things that I've found with people that have his numbers is that they're very untrustworthy about friends. So they collect friends from their childhood years, because they get to know them in a different way than you would when you meet people in later in life. And when they become good friends with someone from their childhood, they keep them for the rest of their lives, because they know their families. They can feel confident about being with them, because they know who he is and how to be with him and that kind of thing.
You're definitely spot on with that one, because I've seen some videos where he says that he doesn't trust many people, and that he has his close his brother, his cousin, just a very tight
People that he knows the families, he knows the background. So yeah, he's gonna stick with that.
You had mentioned like other athletes. Did you mention the names of the other athletes?
Well, like for instance, LeBron James, Tiger Woods. Oh God, there's so many of them. Gosh, all of a sudden it skips my mind in this way. But
no,
Jen, those numbers.
Those couple alone. I mean,
no, I know.
I mean, they're not strangers to controversy there.
No, not at all.
And they're very tight-lipped, right? These guys.
Yeah, and some of the people that I also analyzed from this standpoint of people who were double ones, because double ones are quite rare actually, as far as famous people, because they are so private, so the fact that they get out there and become famous is pretty interesting, because they will be some of the best at what they do, like I said, or they're not getting in the game. So there are people like all of the major, honestly, all of the major clothing designers, Yves Saint Laurent, Calvin Klein, I mean, you name it, almost every one of them, Ralph Lauren, they have the number 1 as their destiny number. And one of the things that I discovered about that was that in order to be a clothing designer, you have to have the most unique ideas that have never been shown before. And that's what one can come up with, because they're not getting in the game unless they think they can win, and they're going to come up with something that's never been done before, And then we have people like Janis Joplin, double ones. Wow, was she? I mean, I don't even know if a lot of people who are listening even know who she was.
Right,
that was like out of the 60s and so on. But there's just all kinds of people. Even later on we'll do Tom Cruise. He's got a 1, and he's in a whole other story too.
What was that song that she used to sing? Take another little piece of my heart, babe, or something? Janis Joplin.
Janis Joplin. Oh yeah.
Those are some deep words, right?
yes. And I mean, really, people who, because I'm just so obsessive with numerology, and I go into areas that maybe a lot of people wouldn't, but I do watch as far as the people who tend to be the most dastardly on the planet too. And I have found that people with 1s are it. You want to go into the prisons, you're going to find a ton of 1s in there. Really, it's not a good thing to just air for everybody out there, because there's a lot of people with 1s that are wonderful. I mean, actually, Tesla had a 1 destiny. Elon Musk is born on a 1 day with a 7 destiny. But anyway, they had comparable numbers. There's a lot of scientists that do have the 1 as well, because again, it's what they become interested in. They can have very technical minds, very, very technical minds, because they want to get everything down to the nubbins so that they will win. They've got to win. They won't even play a card game. They won't play any of the little games that kids like. When I have mothers come to me with children and they'll have a child with a 1, I say, your kid doesn't like to play the children's games, right? No, he doesn't. Why is that? Because unless he thinks he can win, he ain't getting in the game, you know?
Wow.
So that just helps the mother to understand that they are winners when they find the thing that they really can put all of their energy into, and
Right.
and they will. I mean, that's what they'll do. Like LeBron James, you can just see him constantly practicing, I would say, and so
Right.
on. I mean, there's so many other athletes. I wish I could. Well, I can think of one very well-known one, which is um, God, I'm losing it here. He was accused of killing his wife.
OJ Simpson.
Yes, OJ Simpson
There you
has
go.
one destiny. Yes.
Wow.
And let me tell you, when I looked at his chart, I thought, okay, I wish I were on that jury. But anyway,
Jeez.
whatever.
So when you say what did you say, dastardly, or like some like
Dastardly.
yeah,
Yes.
dastardly. So, but I mean, like, this is someone that tries to uplift people and make people better in a lot of senses. What's going on there? I mean, are you seeing like?
Well, you know, one of the things that I see with his chart is that he does have the 9. There's 3 numbers that comprise the primary elements of a person. And so one is the name number, one is the day on which they're born, and one is their destiny number. And when you add all those numbers together, because he does have a 7 as his name, the thing is that becomes a 9. And the 9 in the center is the number of the universal humanitarian. So that was puzzling to me too, in a way. But I will say this too about the 9. The 9 can be, if somebody treats them in a negative way, in any way, they do not forget. And so people have to be very careful when they would be in his environment to how they were to him. I'm sure they are anyway, because of what he does and what he's known to be. So I don't think that's going to be a problem with most people. But
Right.
the 9s can also have what is called the Mount Vesuvius temper. But he's a guy that's going to throw it down inside a lot, because that's what ones do. They don't like
seems very, very calculated. I think we were discussing before that his dad was a grand chess master, and he learned chess. So I see him being calculated and a master strategist as far as showing his cards. The one thing that I find fascinating about him is that he mentions a lot about the Matrix. I mean, this is something.
Oh, that's great. I mean, in a way, because he would be somebody that could honestly follow in those shoes, I would say, and do well.
Right.
Henry Ford was a 1, just to give some examples of other people who they're just geniuses in their time, that come up with things that most people can't come up with, because they don't follow the crowd at all. They are their own person completely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely that. From what I mean, I don't know him personally. All I know is from the videos, but seems super confident, super calculated. Everything that you've said so far is a complete match. I know. I mean, this is coming from someone that when I had mentioned his name, you didn't know who it was. So this isn't premeditated.
No, it was really startling to me when I was analyzing it, and I analyzed his father too. I mean, he is someone who, as he goes along in his life, it shows me that he is going to be softer than he's been in the past. So, I mean, I think it's going to be important to him possibly to, I don't know whether he's married or not. I didn't really notice that.
No,
yeah,
not.
I don't. Yeah, because the thing is, it's to see what men with 1s need in a wife is somebody who can take care of themselves. They don't marry women who need them. They just don't. And so they get somebody that has their own money, has their own career, does their own thing, and leaves them alone. But they want to have the dinner on the table at night.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so yeah.
That's kind of him. That's kind of him. That's a little story, since you don't know. He's he's into this. Let's say he's awake and talks about the Matrix and talks about the BS that's out there, and the authority, and trying to put down the masses and trying to get people to wake up. He has philosophy that we would tend pretty much stays in old school mentality, but yet is trying to promote, I guess, for lack of a better word, men to be men. And
I know, but there's also that element of where he feels that women have to look at their part in being raped. I mean, I'm coming from a place where, excuse me here, but the point is that, of course, I mean, women put on the clothes that men want to see them in, for one thing,
right.
And I just think that there are certain things that what I read about him anyway, that kind of went a little bit over the top for me, but
Right.
I mean, he's out there being who he is 100%, and you either like it or you don't.
Let me ask you this: what do you think is his draw? Like in the numbers, like, why are people fixated on this person?
Oh, usually, I mean, they're very attractive people, for one thing, because they make themselves attractive. They know how to do that. And, he is attractive. I thought anyway, when I saw pictures of him. And
Right.
he's also, the thing is, they're so confident. They exude their confidence.
Right.
So it's kind of like,
and women love that confidence.
yeah, of course. But, it is a kind of patriarchal, old time patriarchal way of looking at things as far as women. This is the woman's millennium. And let me tell you, the women are on the rise, and they are going to be more on the rise. And they're not going to be these little housewifey poo things at home and so on all the time. And because I think that it's good for the kids that are coming along too, because they're born with such much higher consciousness and so on. I'm veering off a bit here, but
Right. No, that's fine.
yeah, I do feel that that's going to be that is the way it's going to go. Is that parents are not going to be parents like they were of my era and your era, possibly. They're going to be very different, because these kids are going to be so freaking brilliant that are coming out here.
Right. So I usually don't ask this, or we usually don't go there, but I mean, this one, because right now we're in the middle of, he's in the middle of a mini crisis right now. What are you seeing based on the numbers and everything that you've looked into, where this is going? You said, I think you had mentioned something about, like, he's going to become softer. Is he what?
Well, if this doesn't distract too much from what I'm doing here, but just to bring my chart over, because he has had huge, huge, I mean, like 5-6 years and so on, what I call pockets of challenge. He's had a lot of them in his life. And that's because of his own personality in a lot of ways. And so at this time, I'm going to say, just as I kind of try to view this thing as quickly as I can, that he is in kind of the point is that he has numbers that show me that the law can get involved here in whatever he's doing, because they're numbers of having lawsuits and having problematical circumstances with a business, if you have a business going, and so on. I mean, I do know what those numbers are, and he's got them right now. Yes, we definitely. So
but I guess I'm asking, are you seeing it going deeper, or are you seeing it rising, if that makes sense?
Okay, well, again, I'm just gonna have to take a little peek over here at my.
Sure, no,
I see
please.
it. I see it actually, because the majority of it. Well, it started in 2022, where I see things that started to go kind of rather awry for him, and he has little fits and starts here, but most of them are fits, and they go clear up into his late 40s. So I think he's going to kind of, I don't know how to put it, but I wanted to say have a comeuppance to some degree with how he really is with his flamboyance, if you want, or just that I'm it and you're not kind of thing,
Right,
you know,
right.
because he could be a guy like that, you know. I mean, you speak of him in ways that they can be very, very charming. I mean, I have to say, I mean, I'm going to interject a thing that is something that we may do in a little bit, but that Tom Cruise has a one destiny. And, you know,
Right.
he is a Top Gun. You know, that would be who that man is, you know?
Top
So,
G, Top Gun. There you go. You know,
so
actually, that's kind of fascinating because Top Gun and Top G take the UN. It's the same thing.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
No,
Wow.
because and they're, you know, like Clark Gable was a one. I mean, he just was a one, man. And I mean, he, you know, when he was in that the what's the Gone with the Wind, that
Yeah.
is a one. Who he was in there, that is exactly who he probably was
Right.
in his own personality.
Because frankly, Scarlett, he didn't give a damn.
That's right. Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. So, I mean, that was another fascinating look at such a controversial figure. Thank you for delving into it and letting us know. I mean, only time is going to tell. I mean, you know, innocent until proven guilty. I mean,
Right.
you're always going to have people who like you, and there are people that are just going to absolutely hate you. And I've actually met both. You know, he's definitely has a personality that either you like him or you hate him.
Well, you know
And
what? Because if he's in trouble, he's in it to win it. He will find somebody that will work for him, even if he has to give his whole stash to him, I would say, because he is not going to be taken down. I'm
right.
going to say that.
No, I can see that. He does say that, you know, like he's in it to win it, you know, and again, I personally admire people that are fighters, survivors, but also something that I never learned, but chess players.
Oh yeah.
Because
No, I mean, I would really admire that. If the guy could get into that, that would be wonderful. But you know what he does is it's violent too. You know, I mean, he
right,
knows how to do pull the tricks and stuff. You know, I
right,
mean,
right, yeah,
no, I mean, I'm impressed with him because he is so much what his numbers show me. You know, it's very impressive. You
right.
know, because I do get excited by finding people that are the real deal 100%. They display
Right.
it, you know. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely the real deal, and definitely breaking the internet with what's going on in his life right now. And you know, the lovers and the haters just can't get enough of them. So it is to be seen. So thank you so much.
You're
Uh,
very welcome.
thank you, everyone, for joining us. And again, if you like the episode, please like down below. If you have any comments, maybe someone that you would like Sally to take a look at, leave it in the comments. And then also appreciate a follow to help us out. So thank you very much. And until next time, thank you, Sally.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it.